WNJC 1360 AM, Washington Township, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Renaissance radio station, broadcasting online at WNJC1360.com, a service of Forsyth Broadcasting.
Okay, everyone, it's time to put on your listening ears, thinking caps, and laughing shoes. It's time for the Doc and Amy Show with your sweethearts of the airwaves who agree to disagree sometimes. Take it away, Doc and Amy.
Do you feel blame?
No.
Feel rage?
Oh, yeah.
Are you mad? Do you feel like Wooster Bob Referendus? Get Fred?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What kind of crap?
Alrighty then, there we go again. It's Sunday at 5 o'clock, and you get your dose of Charles Manson. Thank you.
That's great.
Yes, it was a little mashup by our friend John.
John. That was John,
That was
also
not-
known
that
as
was
Charles
Jeff
Manson.
Jeff Brown, who,
Yes.
who compiled that. For
We
us.
don't even know our friends' names.
We
so-
don't. We just put them in a hat, draw one out, give them a
Yeah.
call, and see if they want some
Yeah.
beer. Thank you for joining us. Again, it's the Doc and Amy Show here, Sundays, 5 o'clock. We want to welcome you. We want to remind you that the call-in lines, 856-227-1360. You can follow us on the World Wide Web at www.thedocandamyshow.com. Did I leave it? Well, the Twitter thing is at the Doc and Amy Show.
At Doc and Amy
At
Show.
Doc and Amy
Not
Show.
at Doc and Amy Show.
Whatever, just look around.
We don't
and
want to
find it.
confuse it with the other Doc and Amy Show.
Right. It's we're on Twitter right next to Amanda Bynes. You can't miss us. And we are welcoming our perennial professor of the production board over there, John, Silent John. How you doing, John?
Doing great.
What's with all the...
It's called alliteration. I was just practicing that.
I kind of know what it's called. It was kind of a rhetorical question.
Well,
We are so full of vocabulary here.
well, if you want to call it that, I don't know if everyone else would. Welcome, John. Thank you for keeping us in line and to some folks' dismay on the air. Welcome, Amy. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm okay, but I'm really wet. Like there's a huge a huge rainstorm when we were walking out of the door, and inches of rain on the ground. And I ran to the car. I said, I will run to the car and pull it up to the walk so you don't have to walk as far, but you take the stuff.
Because I was carrying the
Wait, no,
computer
I'm going to
and
tell him the story.
Okay.
So it was like, well, I could get there a little faster because I didn't have the stuff, and he could get there a little faster with the stuff because he didn't have to walk as far. So I run to the car. I'm dashing there. There's 3 inches of water on the sidewalk, so it's all splashing up on me, so I'm soaking wet. I get in the car, and I look at the door as I'm pulling out to pull up to the walk, and he disappeared. Well, here he's walking to the car anyway. I'm like, the whole point was, it wasn't for you to suffer with all the stuff.
But I was standing out there in the rain. I had to get there as quickly as possible.
Hello.
I had to lock the door, sweetheart.
But you could have done that
We've
after
been
I
through
pulled
this.
up.
Shut up. Anyway.
Anyway, my point was, I'm soaked to the bone right now.
And she was, very chivalrous. Out of character for a woman, but she, didn't just... went the distance there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'm
now, yes, we can
and I'm
drop
also
it now.
soaked anyway. So
yeah, really, it was yucky.
Yeah, we gotta love the rain.
Yeah.
So we do have a few things in store for you today. We do now. Do we have the 2 people, 1 quote for later? Do we still have that?
Oh, I decided to go out to the bar and get drunk, so I didn't do that this week.
Okay.
Yeah. The answer is yes, we do have that.
All right, we'll be doing that later. We'll explain that to you when we get there. We do have some items that we have culled from the news, some things that out there that are current event-like things. So we want to get to that right now. Live from the WNJC news desk, here is the latest with Doc. We always have that little glitch at the beginning. We'll fix it.
I'll fix that. It's my fault. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, it's owning up. We have some things that have caught our attention. Yeah, the first one was interesting, and some of these, I'll read some of this text to you. And the headline is, Did Delta make a paralyzed man crawl out of an airplane? Well, here we go.
The answer is no, and that's the end of the story.
Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Whatever. If this is true, it's horrendous. Former college professor D. Baraka Kanan, I guess, of Hawaii, is suing Delta, alleging that he was forced to crawl down the aisle, off the plane, and across the tarmac because the airline lacked essential equipment for disabled passengers. Before the trip, Kanan had called to reserve a lift and an aisle chair to help him get to his seat. But when he arrived at his destination, there was no aisle chair waiting to help him off the plane, and the crew reportedly were of little help. They did offer to put down a piece of cardboard so his clothes wouldn't get dirty.
They're so
Yes,
sweet.
according to the complaint. Kanan turned down compensation of 25,000 air miles and lawyered up instead. Well, wouldn't you? I mean, complete serious.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know. Well, but there was some confusion, after the incident because he was out there crawling across the tarmac and he called for help on his cell phone, and they had him confused the first time, actually, because the pilot and co-pilot were also crawling across the tarmac after they're right back to the lounge.
That is so wrong.
It
Like,
is, yeah.
Couldn't they have made like one of those human like things
They could've
where
just passed
you
him
reach
down the
across
aisle.
and
The fireman's
grasp
carry,
hand like a
yes.
fireman's carry and
Yes.
just carried him off? That's horrible.
Well, yeah, that's horrible.
Like if
That's
I
why it's
were a
news story.
passenger, I would have helped him.
Piggyback
like,
him off the plane.
I
something.
wouldn't have let him crawl across cardboard. I would have helped him. That's crazy. So
That's
anyone
why-
who is on that flight and is listening today, you should be ashamed of yourself for not helping this poor man. That's horrible.
You miserable POSs, you.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That is, and the reason I brought it up is because I knew it would, get some response. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not making light of his situation. I think it as well that I think it's horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's just not something I'm going to make fun of because I think it's absolutely horrible. And what's weird is something similar happened last week, and apparently there was an emergency and they had to get Amanda Bynes off a plane last week. So they did something similar. They laid down a trail of Coke and she crawled out after it.
Okay, well there you
So-
go. Yeah.
Oh, and now you're laughing. You think it's funny, and I said I'm not going to make fun of this story because I'm really mad.
In anything
That was totally true.
anything derogatory about Amanda Bynes, I'm behind it 100%. I think it's funny.
I mean, they always carry Coke on planes in case they need to get people out. Inevitably, there's going to be one person on a plane.
They just got it from the pilot.
It's like, Hansel and Gretel with the breadcrumbs. You got a little chunky person. You put like a Snickers bar or something and get them out. I mean, everybody has their vice, right? Me, it would be all like artichokes or like little mini turkey Reubens. That I would follow a trail of turkey Reubens. What would you follow a trail of?
Right now, I'm just going to follow this worn path on the carpet out the door and get back to the car and go home.
Okay, callers, please call us up.
What would
and
it
if you
take to
were
get to-
on a plane and they had to get you off for whatever reason, like you're being crazy,
How would they bait you off the plane?
how would they bait you off the plane?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd really have to think about mine. Of course, a trail of money would be my number one choice, but I would say like turkey Reubens, like little mini ones.
A long neck beer about every 12 feet. would work
Yeah,
for me.
like
Yeah.
alcoholic beverages would work too.
Yeah.
So
And they have them, though, right there on the cart. They could do that.
yeah, what would bait you out of a plane if you had to get out?
Not those little bags of stale peanuts. That wouldn't work.
No.
No.
So if you have an answer to that question, just call up and just make sure it is
Radio friendly.
radio friendly.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of
The Rockettes or something like that.
naked girls lined up on the tarmac is not a good answer. So make sure it's radio friendly, please.
So is
if
it a
you
good
call up.
example? I think you've already gone.
But
there.
I described it in a radio appropriate way. I just
I
want to make
see.
sure. So
Yes, well,
anyway,
I'm
so
s-
that's and seriously, like I kind of feel guilty, like making fun of that story, but it really is terrible.
It's the scenario.
It's very horrible.
It is. It is.
That makes me
And
sad.
you look at the guy's picture. He looks like a
A really decent guy. Like he looks like a Hawaii
He's got
like
long hair.
surfer guy.
He looks like a clean shaven Jesus, actually.
Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, it's really that's just so wrong. I can't even imagine sitting on that plane and not helping someone.
Yeah.
Unless maybe they let everybody else get off first. That's true.
Well, no, that happened at the TSA groping before.
Nah.
Yeah. No,
Messed up.
I know. I'm an idiot.
That's just wrong.
Another unfortunate story
Okay.
that I did glean from the internet thing. And this is also very unfortunate. But
really
these are
is.
like bizarre stories. These are from out in the edge where somebody actually was. We're talking about victimization, basically.
Yeah.
And here's the headline: Cops say poor lighting made them shoot a man in his own home. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It already sounds fishy.
Yeah. So here's the text of this. Tragic accident or cops were too quick on the trigger? That's the question the Fort Worth Police Department is trying to answer after 72-year-old Jerry Waller was shot dead on May 28th by officers responding to a burglary, which was reported at a different house. Okay?
Unbelievable.
The department blames poor lighting conditions for two cops wrongly entering a house across the street from the site of the alleged burglary. When an armed Waller confronted the men on his property waving flashlights, the officers identified themselves as cops, they said. They fired, according to the police report, when Waller lifted his firearm as if to shoot, so the cops fired in self-defense. The man's widow says she is disgusted by the officers' trigger-happy approach and wants an independent investigation of the shooting. Now, as I am wont to do, I did a little more digging into this. Here are some of the details. The officers in question had less than a year on the force. There were two rookies out basically in the car. And, I'm not a civil engineer or a city planner or anything, but I know that if I'm going down the street and I can see one house number on either side and it's even or odd, I know the opposite counterpart number, even or odd, is going to be on the other side of the street.
Apparently, they weren't watching Sesame Street like they should have been. They didn't learn their numbers.
That's the that's the advanced part of the academy.
Oh, okay.
Yes. One of the witnesses within earshot said that the firing and the shouting happened at the same time.
Oh.
And the interesting part is that the search warrant, which allowed them onto the property to search for a burglary. That's what they kind of had to do, I guess, on private property, was issued 5 hours after the shooting. So something's up there. But they say that poor lighting made them shoot a man in his own home. He was apparently in the garage when they gunned him down. So,
well, that's not the first time that's been used as an excuse.
Oh, truly.
I mean, Tom Arnold blamed his marriage to Roseanne Barr on poor lighting. So
yes, that's right. Well,
and I do believe him.
In my
I do.
If
it's probably really true.
If you had seen my ex, I can say that contraceptive measures weren't based on Plan B or the morning after pill or anything of that sort. It was basically the effectiveness was contingent upon the amount of wattage. Yes.
Or whether or not you had your glasses on.
Yes.
Or your earplugs in.
Yes.
Or your nose clip on. Or you were taking your medicine.
Well, this just gets, it doesn't, I have to speak for like 2 seconds and it gets completely out of hand. I don't understand that.
That's what it's supposed to do.
To a point, yes.
To a point.
So
it's the perfect point. This next story is a good one. I really enjoyed this when you told it to me. He read it to me as a bedtime story last night.
Right. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. Anyway, this was interesting because it caught my eye, and then it really didn't surprise me any. This one is, there's the only potential victims in this story would be everyone. And here is the headline for the story. Here is the most dishonest place in the U.S. Now, take a guess.
I guessed it, and I guessed correctly.
John, the most dishonest place in the U.S. What would you say?
The most dishonest place?
Dishonest.
Like, what do you mean, dishonest?
People who, they did a I don't want to give away too much of the story here, but they gauged people's propensity toward, if nobody's looking, would they do the honest thing, like an honor system kind of thing.
So what location in the U.S., like a state or a city, would you think would be the most dishonest, if you had a guess?
Probably Washington, D.C.
There you go! Ding, ding! John got that right, too.
See, I really think that's a giveaway. A giveaway. Yeah.
That's pretty sad, actually.
And here's what happened. And Coca-Cola, I guess, sponsored this. Coca-Cola's Honest Tea tested whether Americans would pay for the drink at self-service kiosks. One location ranked far below the others. And the meat of the story says, when Coca-Cola's Honest Tea tested whether Americans would voluntarily pay up for the drink at unmanned kiosks, one place fell far below the national average for honesty. That turns out to be the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where only 80% of people honored the test system of putting $1 in the box to pay for a bottle of the iced tea. In fact, the town was so dishonest that the CEO's bike was stolen during the test.
That's kind of crazy.
There you go. Overall, Americans are 92% honest. Okay, so that's encouraging. But some states and cities are more so than others. The most honest locations are Hawaii and Alabama.
If I lived in Hawaii, I'd be honest too, probably.
Yeah, and until the biggest thief in the country goes back there.
No.
Hawaii and Alabama where 100% of participants paid for their beverage. Now there you go. That's uplifting right there. Ding. Stop that.
No, make me.
Coming in third and fourth were Indiana and Maine, where 99% of people in both states paid up. Now I'm from Indiana.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What surprises me is that they were able to identify the proper currency. Is that George Washington or Abe Lincoln? I can't remember. While the companies tested the honor system before, this was the first year that all 50 states were part of the plan, and the District of Columbia.
Okay.
The kiosk set up with cold beverages included a notice asking people to pay $1 for a beverage. Consumers could either pay or steal without consequences, but Honest Tea employees were stationed nearby to record who skipped out and who paid up. And they shot them in the back of the head when they walked out. Even though my bicycle was stolen the same day as our D.C. experiment, it's reassuring to know that 92% of Americans will do the right thing, even when it seems no one is watching. Honest Tea Chief Executive Seth Goldman said. Is he disgusted? He just walked out and slammed the door there?
No, I think it was a radio station emergency.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was something
There was like a red light flashing and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, if you can hear us, call us and let us know.
He put on his cape too.
Oh, I did.
Before he left.
Right. He saw the John signal. Up in the sky. So anyway, West Virginia was number 2 behind the capital as the most dishonest region, with only 85% of consumers paying. Texas was third at 87%. Now, 3 states, Louisiana, Arizona, and Mississippi, failed to rank because not enough consumers participated. Louisiana, Arizona, and Mississippi.
That's weird.
Arizona has their own brand of tea. They weren't interested.
Yeah, really.
Louisiana and Mississippi, no one had $1. So,
yeah, really.
We'll wrap that. So that's just some interesting tidbit kind of things.
And actually, because it was about Washington, D.C., there were some people who responded to the story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So in response to this, obviously our president had to respond to this because the people in Washington, D.C.
Because he has nothing else to do.
Yeah, were the least honest. So he blamed it on the fact that the test was apparently held outside an eatery where Republican congressmen and lobbyists frequent. That's what he said happened. Okay? Then Republican Todd Akin, who we all know was famous for his rape quotes about how, if it's a legitimate rape, the woman will just miscarry the baby. We all remember those quotes from last year. The body just gets rid of the baby if it's really a rape. So you don't need, a snippet in the abortion laws for rape because the body just takes care of itself. So this is what Todd Akin said. He said, first of all, from what I understand, dishonesty is really rare. Okay? Mm-hmm. If it's legitimate dishonesty, the body has a way to shut that whole thing down. So I guess people who are dishonest just die, according to Todd Akin.
Or the tea stand shuts down.
Yeah, exactly. So
resolving them.
And then Michelle Bachmann's response was, I bet they were all gay. So that's why apparently all the people in Washington, D.C., they rank so poorly, is all the gay people lied. And
Michelle Bachmann, wasn't she married to Ringo Starr?
Yeah. Okay. And then Lindsay Lohan also had a statement, and she said, I would never steal tea. Well, Long Island iced tea, maybe.
That's right. It's got to be the right tea.
Yeah,
yes.
so, everyone has an answer.
Lindsay. I miss Lindsay.
She's coming out soon. Like, not
what?
out.
What?
Like, she's already out. We all know that after Samantha Ronson. But
who?
Her girlfriend, Samantha Ronson.
I don't know.
Come on now.
I don't care. That's why I don't know.
Well, you need to care.
That's right.
That's my job, is to care.
Well, then you handle that.
Okay.
That's all yours.
No, and Lindsay actually has a deal with Oprah when she comes out to do a series of interviews. I don't know
$2
if
million deal.
I don't think they released how much it was, but it was a lot. Is it $2 million? Yeah. So
see that I know. It's about money.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I get you. Yeah. So would you have paid for your tea?
I wouldn't have drunk that.
Drunk?
Beverly. I would not have drunk that.
I would not have dranken.
No,
it's not drunk.
Dranken. Okay.
It's dranken.
Don't try not to tell people where you went to college. They'll never. They'll dry up and blow away.
It's dranken.
Okay, Drankenberry.
Drankenstein.
Yes, I did. Yeah, after a few, I am Drankenstein.
Yeah, so she has this deal with Oprah. So, is it really bad? Like, if I say that I kind of want her to fall off the wagon, like, and then now Amanda Bynes is in psychiatric, like,
because she's a lunatic
for 2 weeks. But what am I going to talk about? They're both isolated. Getting help, whatever.
You have.
What's all this getting help crap?
There are 537 at least potential and ready targets inside the Beltway with plenty of opportunity.
No, they're so fun. I mean, Amanda Bynes so sweet. She was setting fires. I mean, she lit her dog on fire. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Lindsay never even did that.
She didn't light her dog.
She almost did. She spilled gasoline on her dog and then lit a fire in someone's driveway.
That's good for cleaning the dog.
And her dog had gasoline all over it. Well, and she did too.
My dad set a dog on fire one time.
No, I don't want to hear about that. But anyway, they put her in.
I want to tell about
it. No, we're not talking about that. No, we're not.
It's a good story. It's a funny story.
No, we're not talking about that.
Yes, I am.
No, we're not. I'm going to play music.
We were out having fireworks on the 4th of July. And my dad set off a set of Roman candles, and they went everywhere. It was like an atom bomb went off, and this dog was under a picnic table, and one of them landed on his tail, and the dog just laid there. And somebody said, "Hey, Bill, your dog's on fire." And he really wasn't burning, okay, but the stuff was landing around him, and the dog just did not move. I mean, this is how ambitious this dog was. There is total warfare essentially going on around him, and he did not move. I don't even know if he woke up. So no one was hurt, no one was injured.
Yeah, okay. I think you just adjusted the story because I've heard this story before, and it was not a happy ending. But anyway,
in my world,
we're not allowed to talk any stories about animals being harmed. That's the rule
the
of the show.
animal wasn't harmed.
Yeah,
Doesn't need a tail.
Oh my God. That's really great. Yeah, you don't need a tail either.
That's why I don't
but
have
one. But I set yours
so
on fire.
Okay, but yeah, okay. I'm primate of the week here. What I'd like to do now is kind of shuffle things up a little bit. We do a. What was I'm not even going there. Whatever gymnastics that was that you just did in order to clear.
Speaking of gymnastics, not to interrupt you.
See, I can't even finish. Not to interrupt you, but I'm going to.
No, but I have
to. That's why nobody ever listens to the show because I'm never heard on the show.
Okay, whatever. So we are playing with the kids Friday night. We have family game night. Okay. So we instead of just watching TV or doing whatever, we play a bunch of games.
We set up a bowling alley.
Yeah, okay, I wish. So we play gestures, which is like charades, but you pick cards, and it's got this, like, what are those movie theater things that have, and they go, whoa, I just attacked the microphone.
Amy has just torn down half the studio. Thank you very much.
What are those things? I can't remember what they're called.
They call them clappers.
Clappers, where the thing claps down, they say take. Or 1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
It's and
the guy points.
It's the I can't remember. It's the board on which they write. What take, what scene, what.
I think it's the clapper. I like that. Clap on, clap off.
Yes, and they do it, and all the lights come on. Yeah.
Okay, so it has this clapper thing, and you put 4 cards in there, and it just has 4 words on there, and you shut the clapper, and the time starts, and you have to act this stuff out real fast. And there's 2 easy cards and 2 hard cards. So I pick slide. Okay, so bingo. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I'm just going to slide across the carpet. I slide across the carpet. My ankle turns, which was fine, but my arm gets caught underneath my body. And all I hear is crack on my shoulder. And for a split second, I'm like, oh my God, is my arm still attached to my body? And actually, I got up and it didn't hurt at all. Oh, but it hurt the next day. Very painful.
That's why they don't recommend those games for senior citizens.
Oh, very funny. So anyway, but my oldest son said, well, this is what he says. Okay, he says, well, it was worth it because he and I were a team. He and the little one and Doc were a team. And he says, well, it was worth it because we won.
By 1 point.
Well, you know what? You suffer with my pain and tell me if it was worth it. You little stinker. Yeah, so I slid.
Yeah, slide in my moccasins for a mile.
But the best was when Doc did the hula hoop.
Yes.
He had to act out hula hoop. We were laughing so hard. That was so funny.
Well, it's, I didn't think to put anything on my grass skirt.
Nah, that was a classic. I wish I would have had a little videotape going.
I'm glad you didn't.
But now I will allow you to do your next story.
Thank you. Because,
or whatever activity you were
Well, I was
going to
try to introduce you so you could do your bit, but now that you've exhausted
thanks.
your allotted time, we'll go on. Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
All I have to do is one random word, and boom, I get Gutenberg's entire life work out of it.
Gutenberg's life work.
Okay, so
I'll give you the Hindenburg if you don't behave. Anyway.
Oh, the humanity. Yes, okay, so what I was going to say, John, is that we do a segment, or Amy and John basically do this, Battle of the Wits segment, and it is called Two People, One Quote, where Amy gives us a quote, and then she gives us two people to whom that might possibly be attributed. She gives us the quote again, and then gives us two other people to whom or about whom that might be attributed. And John has to guess which one is the appropriate reference. So for those of you keeping track at home, get your pen and paper ready. The first week we did this, John did not get any of them right.
Brett did not get any right.
It was Brett, right?
Yes, Brett did
Last
get
week
any right.
John played, and he beat Amy at her own game, 2-1.
He did.
So this is the quote off. Right here. We're going to see how this actually turns out. So I'm going to turn this over to Amy and John and see just how this turns out. This is very exciting. And there are no prizes involved.
There are no prizes. He gets absolutely nothing.
And no betting. There will be no wagering on this game. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Quote number 1. Always read something that will make you look good if you die in the middle of it. P.J. O'Rourke, political satirist, however you want to say it, to Jon Stewart. Shush now. Okay, so P.J. O'Rourke. Always read something that will make you look good if you die in the middle of it. Vince Vaughn in an interview with Ellen DeGeneres about the new reality show he is producing.
All right. So what are the choices one more time?
P.J. O'Rourke, who is a political satirist, or Vince Vaughn.
I'm going to have to go with P.J. O'Rourke.
You are right.
Oh, alrighty. Now, for those of you at home keeping track of this, we have John 1, Amy nothing.
Rub it in.
I'm going to.
Okay. Second
Number
quote.
2.
The sheets we go through. Hugh Jackman remarking on role-playing as Wolverine with his wife. The sheets we go through. Brad Pitt to GQ magazine on building forts with his kids.
I'm gonna say Brad Pitt.
You were wrong.
Wrong.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game.
We have a tie.
John
This is
won,
the tiebreaker.
Amy won.
Okay. We'll see about this one.
Okay, this is now this is the exciting part because it's a tie game.
I'm shaking.
It could go either way.
Could you hold my paper for me? Because
No.
I can't. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Quote. There is no such thing as people of color, cause in reality people aren't white. People are pink. Paris Hilton responding to a racist Twitter post about black cab drivers. There is no such thing as people of color, cause in reality people aren't white. People are pink. Zoe Saldana in an interview with People discussing the racial tensions in her movie Avatar.
All right. Let me hear the choices one more time.
Okay, Paris Hilton. This was in regards to her racist Twitter post that she. Well, it was not really. I said racist, but not necessarily. I kind of Consolidated.
Yeah,
It isn't
just-
really racist, but it was kind of had a connotation of racism. Or Zoe Saldana, in an interview in reference to the racial tensions in her movie in Avatar.
Now take your time.
This is a big one here.
This is-
Yeah,
this is-
Paris Hilton or Zoe. I guess it's Zoe Saldana.
I'm sure it is.
I'm gonna go with Paris Hilton.
Wow, you were wrong. I can't
Wow.
even believe it.
Oh,
I
ladies and
thought
gentlemen,
for
it's an upset.
I thought I was done.
Oh my God, Amy wins her
one.
own game.
Well, and then I slipped because I said, well, it wasn't really racist
See, you can't
because
add
I
information.
wrote that.
You can't add information.
Okay.
It's- yeah.
So John and I are now tied.
So everyone, stay tuned.
So
Next
it's
week,
love. Is that what it is in tennis? Like if it's like match set, point set, love, whatever it is? How does that work in tennis?
well, during the break between matches, I'm sure that could possibly happen.
No, I'm saying isn't it love or something?
If there are no points scored in tennis, it's love. That is love.
Oh, okay. So no, so that wouldn't be the case. So this would be match set point. I'm making stuff up. That's what I'm saying it is.
It's a leaner.
It's checkmate. Let's just pretend like we're in chess. It's checkmate. This is it.
This is check.
It's go time.
check.
Okay, check.
Could checkmate
It's go
the game's
time.
over.
It's go time. So this could
Okay.
either be chess or hockey. We've both been checked.
I don't give a puck. Now that we've
Oh
now that
my
we've had our
goodness.
two people one quote, now next week you'll have to be sure to tune in for the exciting rematch for two people one quote between Amy and John, and just see who wins the tiebreaker.
It's like radio cage match. I love that. Did you ever see Celebrity Cage Match? Did you ever watch that on MTV?
Yeah, that's old, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
So is she.
Oh my God, they would just rip each other's heads off.
Yeah.
Or like somebody would rip someone else's arm off and beat them with it. It was hilarious.
That was from Night of the Living Dead.
It was awesome.
That was a direct
I
plagiarism.
love Celebrity Cage Match.
Yeah, that's
I don't care if it's plagiarism. It was funny. I don't care about all that.
well, they had bizarre matchups like Michael Jackson and King Kong and stuff like that. It was crazy. So anyway,
Michael Jackson
don't know.
and King Kong.
I actually never saw it.
He
so I-
moonwalked
I just-
over him.
Yeah. And then King Kong climbed up a building and threw him off.
He was moonwalked to death.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is another interesting story, or I guess we'll find out if it's
Okay.
interesting or not. I just pulled in some of these things out of the ether to see, kind of just to stir up some conversation.
Okay.
The picture is very interesting. And here is the headline. Funny guys can thank biology for why the ladies love them.
Okay.
Okay. And here's the text of the article. Buck up, beta males. While you might think every woman will inevitably fall for the good-looking, unfunny jerk, scientists have determined that there may be hope for the goofy, hopeless romantic. In a study conducted by the Stanford University School of Medicine, researchers found that women have an evolutionary disposition to appreciate humor more than men, making a sense of humor an important element when choosing a suitable mate. Boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13 were shown funny videos. The female brains showed more heightened activity, which scientists theorize is due to the fact that the female brain and its reward circuit is biologically better prepared to respond accordingly. So, little 6-year-old girls are being studied for their heightened sense of recognition of humor.
Yeah. No, it's it.
Why, if they're looking for, romantic attraction, why study kids between 6 and 13?
Well, I think they were just trying to study
Because they didn't have to pay them? maybe?
females' reaction to something funny. That's all they were trying to do.
Right, but why wouldn't they study somebody with a more highly developed sense of humor and what are they showing them, Barney?
Barney's not very funny.
Exactly, that's my
Unless
point.
he like trips.
That's my point. And
Like
gets-
if he trips,
and
it's
bursts
funny.
into flames.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I enjoy that.
I don't care for Barney. I think
No.
he's just a prehistoric pedophile.
Well, you know what? Just leave it to the scientists to take the fun out of funny. I mean, that article was like, dude, funny's supposed to be funny. It's too serious.
But
You just have knee left. There's nothing left.
Well, thanks for shooting holes in my contribution.
No, it's the point. That's the whole point, though.
Well, my question was, why are they studying little children to try to basically the idea of the research was to see if, and I quote, there is that women have an evolutionary disposition to appreciate humor more than men. Men. They're not 60.
Who did this study?
Stanford University School of Medicine.
My
with
guess
Doctors
is
Larry, Moe, and Curley presiding.
so they conducted this study with the children,
Yes.
or they cited the study that someone else had conducted. That's my question. Because no, my point is this could have been someone's doctoral
a study
thesis.
conducted by the
It
Stanford
was.
University
Okay.
School of Medicine.
Okay. No, I just thought maybe it was somebody trying to write a thesis
The
and
idea
use this
here-
unrelated study to try to prove a point.
The idea behind all of this, darling, is for us to be in front of the microphone saying things so people can listen and interpret it. If you can't do that, then I shouldn't be here.
What?
What? See?
What?
I read the whole story, and it's like, okay, I had to repeat a couple of parts of it. So if you didn't, if I did not make that clear, for those of you,
Well, I
out there,
didn't listen to the specific details of it.
I just heard funny and accordingly. Everything in between, I missed it.
Whatever.
Yes, okay. Well, you were talking about Barney. Barney, to me, Barney's theme song should be like, I love you, you love me, too bad that that's a felony. Da-da-da.
Oh, God.
He's just a big, I don't know, pedophilus Rex. I don't know.
Pedophilus Rex.
No, a big purple dragon.
Oh, my
Go figure.
gosh. He is really annoying. And the kid, wait. Barney is annoying, but the kids,
Who like Barney are annoying.
no, in the show, oh, you just.
I've never
it's
seen it. I've never seen that
Oh,
either.
the kids are the geekiest, most annoying kids ever.
Okay.
Like they're the kid. It's like they went.
So if you've been a guest on the Barney Show, please call us at 856-227-1360 and let us qualify the nerd factor. For
No,
you.
it's like they went to the playground
Uh-huh.
and stood there and waited. And they
For the
waited.
kid who walked into a post.
No, for kids whatever kids got beat up on the playground, those are the ones they picked to star in Barney.
And all it cost them was an amount equal to the milk money they got taken from.
Oh, they were so annoying. Oh my gosh, it's just not right. But anyway,
Okay, we digress. So we're gonna move on. Here's an interesting thing, and I was taken by the association made
okay.
in this little bit here, and we're going to have a sort of a quote from Senator McCain. Everybody remembers him, and we can't really say that he had, has always shown the best judgment. He did buddy up to Sarah Palin, which
Yeah.
is something that
Yeah.
he'll take to his grave. Here, the basic gist of the story is that there is a thing called the Coins Act, and the acronym basically stands for Let's Replace Dollar Bills with Dollar Coins, and basically they've tried to do that already. On the one hand, you'd never have to rub George Washington's crumpled face against the side of a stubborn vending machine ever again. On the other, how would you politely tip a stripper? You can't put a coin in a garter belt, a Washington, D.C. club owner complained when the proposal was first pitched. Thankfully, one hard-hitting journalist asked the Arizona senator how the coin changeover would affect America's exotic dancers. Now, this is an important question. I can't believe I didn't think of this myself. And he says, I hope that they could obtain larger denominations, 5, 10s, 100s. Really?
Yeah.
Hundreds? And the response was, we're not exactly making Congress-level salaries, dude. So, here we go. We've got some appropriate music.
He should adopt this as his theme song. I mean, this guy was going to be the leader of Haiti.
Well,
Wyclef Jean.
Jean.
I always called him Wyclef Jean.
Me too, and I still do.
Yeah, I'm taking a stand.
Go for it.
Yeah, so apparently 50 Cent didn't like that. His quote in response to this was, "That's messed up, man." He didn't like it. He didn't want to be upstage. Like, if you're going to make a new coin, make it a 50 Cent coin. No F, no one F in that word, just 50.
I see.
I mean, why not?
I don't.
It would probably be all the rage.
It would. Yes.
Yeah. So.
You could, do something with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you could do something with it.
I'm trying to get out of what I was thinking so many things that
It's so hard when you think the things that you think and then you can't say the things that you think, because then you would be fined by the FCC.
I'm not as thick as she drunk she is.
That's a challenge for me every week. It really is.
That was a challenge for me to absorb right there. I'm not as thick as you drunk I am. Okay. Now here's another one that kind of caught me. And
this is hilarious.
Don't steal my thunder.
I'll thundering you up. I'm setting you up.
I'm thundering you up. Don't make me thunder you up. All right.
Oh, baby, I'll thunder you up.
Give me some white lightning first. And I'm just going to read the headline of this one because it kind of is self-explanatory. And we ask our listeners, and you can call in with your input on this at 856-227-1360. You can call in and give us some input. Here is the question. Are you in favor of legalizing fourth trimester abortions? I read that again. Fourth trimester abortions. Now, here's the the story behind the story here. The conservative fundsters at the Media Research Center planted their guy, Dan Joseph, at George Mason University in Washington, D.C. Again, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
The people are not only dishonest, they're stupid. Okay,
yeah.
So that's
and George Mason is a fairly decent university.
Yeah,
so.
it may be clean and it might look nice, but apparently they're turning out retards.
Yeah.
So what the thing was, he went there and to make a point about abortion. What they really proved is that some people will sign any petition put under their noses. Some college kids signed Joseph's petition to allow for fourth trimester abortions. Okay, again, your hint, fourth and try. Okay. We don't know how many people he asked, or whether the experiment exposes liberal media bias, or just that America's education system has some room to improve.
Yeah.
They're exceptional. Whatever.
And to those who don't get it, a woman
if they don't get it, just leave
has
it.
3 trimesters.
You don't have to explain it.
Okay.
If they're all out there, they were born. Okay.
They were born.
They can do their own research. Okay. What we do know is that by the end of the 4th trimester, most fetuses have a name and know who mom and dad are. Okay.
Yeah,
So, whatever.
That's crazy.
There was a funny response to that, but I did not print it out. So.
Oh. Yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah.
It just shows you people don't think about what they're saying or signing. They don't think.
I don't think that's the bulk of the problem. I think the thinking is the problem.
Yeah, you might be right.
The signing is not the problem.
The
that
thinking
they can
about
do.
thinking. They kind of just, and it's just getting worse and worse. It's really scary.
It is.
That's really scary.
It is. So
this is scary also.
Yes. And the headline for this one. Army spends months tracking spy drones that turn out to be planets. What?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now, but you have to understand who's involved, who the players are in this story. So I will go on here. Tensions are a little high between India and China right now, but this might be taking it a bit far. India's army say they spent 6 months watching what they thought were Chinese spy drones. The problem? They turned out to be Jupiter and Venus, okay, which we've known about for a couple of years. The planets. Military sources say they had to call in the India Institute of Astrophysics to determine whether these unidentified objects were celestial or terrestrial. They only identified them as planets once they saw them move in relation to the stars. They didn't have any telescopes lying around that could have cleared this whole thing up in an evening.
Really?
Yeah. Which, so the Indian Army saw planets, thought they were drones, which explains why I can't get the right coffee.
That's not right.
That's not right. No, I mean,
I just want to send a little song out to the Indians. A little Bananarama.
Okay.
Little Bananarama.
Yes, a little banana.
Yeah, everybody needs a little Bananarama.
Well,
Not everybody.
just don't want to ram it too hard. That's all. It's like that's old. And this is not my joke, but I got Harrison with it the other day. I said that I had heard that bananas were important for cleansing the colon, but it turns out you have to eat them.